share you a few other videos what we are I want to share you today, that is advanced Apex. Okay, we are going to work on batch Apex, schedule Apex. Okay, and I hope you guys have already gone through the Apex trigger videos. Do you guys got any questions on that Apex trigger? Do you want me to go through again the similar examples again? Yes, I can do that if you want me to go on. Okay. So in today's class, we'll be working on two concepts. One is salesforce triggers, Apex triggers, and another thing is batch Apex. Okay. Batch Apex and scheduled Apex also. I'm logging into my application. Okay, so here, creating a new tab. Okay, and so first of all, how to create triggers. There are multiple ways again. You can create triggers from the developer console. From here, you can create triggers directly from object. So triggers are very specific to object. Okay. Yeah.
We can't see your screen.
Yeah. Okay. Nikhil. Okay. Sure. Can I see my screen now? And you can also access triggers from this option, Apex triggers, where we use Apex triggers. Okay. So there are I even discussed about this particular topic. Means not technical, means not programmatically, but theoretically we discussed it in while we are explaining about the keywords in Apex and stuff. Okay. So why are we using triggers? Or suppose if you want to do some action based on some event, whenever you are inserting some lead, if you want to validate the same lead is available in the system or not by checking with their email address, because each and every person will be having unique email address and phone number. If the same email and phone number is already available in the system, or if the same email is already available in the system, you are not going to get a new lead. So this type of or else you can do one thing, you can merge the new information what this guy is entering. Or suppose first time when I'm entering a lead into the system, I haven't entered my company name, my number of employees, all this stuff, and what I'm looking in. But second time when I'm inserting the lead, I have inserted along with my email and first name, last name, I have inserted this new information also. Generally what happens, if there is a duplicate, it will show some error on the screen. If there is not duplicate, it saves into the system. That's one thing. But with the triggers, I can do one thing. If I want to merge both the records, combine the information on both the records and create one record only, I can use triggers here. Because if I'm giving as duplicate checkbox checked right, it won't allow the new record which I'm trying to insert with the same email address. Got it? But when when the requirement of the customer is like, if a new page is inserting with the new additional information, you need to merge the data into the old data only, old record only. As I said, the old record don't have company's information, address, or the products what you are looking into, all this stuff. You are going to update the previous record and you are not going to insert the new record because this is having the same email address. Okay, this is called merging the main master record. Which is the master record? I can make this record as a master, the new record which I am entering, but I don't want to do that because the record is already created in the system, which I don't want to delete that and again create new thing. I will update the new information, the new record into the old record. I'll put the new information and save that. Means I'm updating the old record and I'm not going to save the new record. I don't see this. I don't show this message on the screen saying, "Hey, this information is already there in the system or not." But I will do everything in the back end. The customer don't see any problems while saving the data. My system will automatically clean this stuff, remove the duplicates, make the values perfect, means merge automatically the values. All these operations can be done with Apex triggers, this type of actions. So all the things what you cannot do with validation rules or field updates or any email sending means workflow rules can be done with Apex triggers. The advanced options can be done with Apex triggers. That's the main intent. We are using Apex triggers with Apex programming. We can do more and more advanced things than validation rules and workflow rules. So if there is a requirement which can be done with validation rules or workflow rules, yes, you can go ahead with that. No need to get a new trigger. You have to pick triggers only if you cannot do that requirement in with button clicks. That means validation rules and workflow rules. The same requirements you can do here also. Okay. I will open the trigger. Okay, show the trigger to you. For simplifying thing, I am showing two triggers to you. Okay. One trigger is not bulkified. It generally works on single, means it's generally helpful on show how things work like that. See, this is a trigger on the account object. See, when you are writing a trigger on product object, trigger the trigger name on product, and inside brackets there are some events. So you can put a number of events, like you can put after insert, comma, before insert, comma, after update, comma, before update. You can do this type of events inside this bracket. Each and every event will be differentiated with a single comma. Okay. So this is the trigger name on the object on what you are writing this, and these are the events, and all the custom code what you are writing is in between these curly brackets. Okay. So whenever a new account is getting inserted, you are going to execute this code. And again, there is an option to activate and deactivate the triggers also. The button is here. Currently, this trigger is active. What happens is whenever you are creating an account object, you are going to create the contact object also within no time. Automatically, I am doing it. Can we do this requirement with workflow rules? Can someone tell me? Can I create a new contact record on creation of account object? No. You can only create, you can update some fields, you can do that simple stuff. But when I open the customer, I will show the requirement to you. There is a simple checkbox. Actually, this is, if I am connecting this to the actual business requirement. So, if you are a company giving services to customers, so the big customers will be having a company name, that is account, that is customer name, and contacts of the people who works for that company, like CFO, CTO, CEO, all these people. What happens if there is a customer for you who is individual, like Warren Buffett? He is an independent person. He generally invests company, so he is a single person. So customer and account are same in this regard, because you create the account name with the person name only, and you don't want to create the same thing again manually or the contact object. So for that case, I'm going to the customer object, clicking on new, okay, and I'm clicking on personal account. Means personal account is the account which is specific to a person, it's not a company. Okay, this guy think he is a very big investor and he is taking our services. And in this personal account case, if you want to make the contact and account are same, I'm clicking on create personal account. Okay. And see, when I'm creating this, there is a simple checkbox for create contact. When I'm selecting this option, it automatically runs my trigger. That's my requirement. I'm creating a customer name called, um, Sumant, Sumant, triple one, okay. I'm copying this and I'm making this account as active equal to yes, and also I want to make number. This is a request that is I'm entering some value, and the account number is also required. That is I'm entering 7-digit value because so 675 675 and 8 7-digit value. If you see, if I'm entering less than that or more than that, it will throw some error on my screen because of my validation rule. I know that. That is the reason I'm entering this, and even fax is also required. Phone is also required in my validation rules, but it's not showing required here. I know that. That's the reason I'm filling this. I'm clicking on save. What happens now? There are some messages still, okay, because of some SLA agreements, all this stuff. I make this required some number and expiration date as today. So I'm clicking on save again. Now it won't show any error, and it creates the account plus contact. Generally, what happens? You have to, in this case, you have to create the account first. Later on, you have to create the contacts one by one. If there are 4 contacts, you have to create 4 times. 4 contacts you have to create. But in this current scenario, my trigger is going to be executed. See, I saved the record called Suman Triple One. Okay, and the bottom of the record you can see Suman 1111. There are 2 records. The reason why I'm seeing 2 records is I have 2 triggers. One is bulkified, one is non-bulkified. One is with the best practices, one is with the non-best practices. That is the reason you have created 2 records. I will show the two trigger names. It automatically creates the contact with the information on the account object. The code which I am using for this, I will show that to you. This is the code. See what happens when I am trying to insert the record, account record. That is executing this lines of code because that is the event what you are putting here in the trigger. If I am using after update, now all the records which are not which are inserted is not going to into this loop. Okay, all the records which are updating only can go into this loop. Currently, the event which is mentioned in this trigger is after insert. Means only after insert triggers are will go into this loop. And what happens? These are the comments. See, backslash star again till here till sound line is comments. Don't worry about that. It extends the requirement. And so I have said you there are some trigger context variables. Trigger.new is a map. Okay. Trigger.old is the old map. Trigger.new is a new map. As you are trying to insert the new records into the system, after insert, you may insert 10 records or 5 records. Okay. When you are inserting that, the trigger.new will store that 5 records. But in this current scenario, when I'm inserting only 1 record, the trigger.new will be only 1. Is a list of records with only 1 account record. And again, if you are executing this trigger on contact object, trigger.new will be having contact records. If you are executing this trigger.new, if you are using this in account object, it contains account records. Okay. And the new account records will be, means as there is only 1 record, I'm using list of 0, means the only 1 record which is in the system is coming to the account object. Means if there are 5 records also, if I'm using of 0, it generally shows the first record into this account. Account ACC equal to this value. Okay. Now in account, Suman 111 account is there in this ACC. It's an account. I'm checking whether if acc.create contact equal to true. If it is true, I'm trying to create a contact. That code you can see inside this. And if you see clearly, I'm trying to send even email also. Okay. So I'm using static email. I can go and check my venki@gmail.com, which will be getting an email saying, hey, your subject is this, your password is this, and the subject is your password is dash dash. Some type of static email message I'm sending, but which is having dynamically the values of account name and account ID also. I'll show that email after this. I'm clicking on this. Now you can see the email from Salesforce. But anyway, I have to still explain the code. I will come after 5 minutes. So this, see, we came into this code because the create contact equal to true. If you are not checking that particular checkbox on the screen when you are creating the customer record, this line is not going to be executed. This if loop. The if loop starts here and it ends here, and that's 3 lines. All the lines inside that if loop will not be executed, right? You know that. And contact con equal to new contact is you are creating a new contact. It's a blank contact. Con is a new blank contact now. Con dot last name. I'm using the last name is required inside Salesforce. You know that in the contact object, even in the lead object also. But for last name, I'm assigning account dot name. ACC dot name equal to con dot last name. I'm assigning the account name into the contact last name. Account phone equal to the contact phone number. And again, I'm dynamically preparing the email address. If my company name is AT&T, what is my email address? venkat@AT&T.com, right? In this case, I'm trying to give account name. Means if account name is Sumant11 @Sumant11.com is my email address. I can see that email address to you on the, show you that on the, see, Sumant11 @Sumant11.com. Because company name is Sumant11 only, and the first name I can even give better names here, but I just dynamically preparing the email address, unique email address based on the account name. Got it? So account name plus I'm appending a static string that is @ After that I'm adding plus. I'm dynamically adding account name. After that again plus. Here this is called concatenating the strings. This is the value coming from the system. @ is the value printing, means dynamically appending with the string concatenation. Okay. Later on at the end .com is also static string with 4-letter string I'm adding to the current email address. So now we have a proper email address in the form format. I know that the email won't work, but still it's email address. I can even prepare proper emails with the name @companyname.com, right? And finally, I'm creating a contact to which account I have to link it with. For sure, I can create even independent contacts also, but in my scenario, the contact which I'm creating, I should map to the account what you are creating. Okay. That is the reason. What is ACC.ID? ACC is the account which is currently getting created. So I'm dynamically mapping ACC.ID. I'm assigning to the account contact account ID. Means this is the relationship between contact and account. That is, account ID is the field name. Okay. I'm mapping here. So that this will bring the link between the contact and the account what you are creating here. And insert con. Now I'm inserting the contact. As I said, if you are trying to insert some records, you keep that in the try catch loop, but I have inserted here. And later on, after inserting the contact, I want to send a single email to the contact. I know that Sumant11 won't work properly. That is the reason I'm using the static email here. That is Venki@10. So coming down to the 20th line, the messaging.single email message is a system interface for sending email. I'm initializing that in the 20th line, and later on, I'm creating the emails. Yes, I can create the emails and stuff, but I don't have emails dynamically coming from the contacts. The contact email is dummy. Okay, that is the reason I gave string to means I'm sending email to 2 emails. What is Venki@10 and another email is venkiworks@gmail.com. See, string of list of strings that can be defined like this in the 20th line. So 2 vertices is the list of strings. Okay. 2 vertices is the list of strings. I'm trying to set the 2 values to that, and I'm sending email finally in the 25th line. Mail dot set 2 addresses. See, I'm setting the email addresses to the email. I'm setting the body with this. Here you have dynamic account name and dynamic body also, and finally you are sending an email. It sends email to you. As I said, I will open that email to you and show it to you. See, The password is this. The account name is Sumant11. Here I am printing dynamic ID, and the account ID also I am printing directly. If I open this, I got the account name and ID as well as the subject also. Bottom to that, I can even print out my email signature, the dynamic email signature from my company email address. So this is this is the requirement where we have done the custom requirement with Apex triggers. Okay, give me a second. Yeah. So give me a second. So now you got the the exact thing what what our trigger is working on. Okay, and one more thing I want to show is the bulkified trigger. The trigger which you have seen now is not it will work properly, but it's not a best practice. Okay, you are trying to do operation only on one record. For suppose if you are trying to import 500 500 accounts from my data loader, what happens in that case? It has to run the trigger many times, right? And again, I'm inserting the contacts that number of times. It generally will only work for first one record in the current code, because I'm trying to take only the first value from the list and I'm doing only on that operation with the if loop. If I'm using if I'm using a for all by using for loop, I can do it, but still the list, the contact insertion is inside the for loop. Means it will, if there are 500 records which you are trying to insert, it tries to hit the database insert 500 times if I am putting the list contact insert inside the for loop. But the new code which I'm trying to show is bulkified. Okay, so this bulkified code will generally create the new contacts, but here in this particular requirement, I have not created any email sending message option here. But still, this is a good code, bulkified code. This also works in the same scenario. Trigger name on account after insert. First of all, I initialize a list of contacts, not the single contact. I initialize a list of contacts. Later on, I'm using for loop to parse all the accounts what you are inserting. If I'm inserting 100 accounts into my system now with single batch, this for loop will be passed with 100 records with trigger.new. Now, trigger.new is a list of accounts with a list of 100 accounts, because I'm inserting 100 accounts into the system, right? Now, this for loop will be parsed, will be repeated 100 times. 100 times it goes into the if loop also. You can check whether if account.create contact equal to true or false, because when I'm uploading 100 accounts, out of the 100 accounts, if the 60 accounts are checked with create contact equal to true, then 60 times it's gonna run this if logic. Okay. Now 60 times it's going to create contact equal to new contact, means 16 new contacts I have to create. That's the reason I'm calling this inside it. But there's no problem in creating the contacts, but the problem here is inserting. That's the reason I don't have any issues when I use create con equal to new contact inside the for loop also. There's no issues at all. So inserting things I should not keep inside the for loop. The reason for that is if I'm putting insert list of contacts inside for loop, it won't, the database limits will be exceeded. I don't want to do that. Okay. Give me a second. I'll be back in a minute. I have another call. Okay. Can you copy down this code if possible, the lines of code by the time? So we can use and we can develop the same thing in your system also. Yeah, sorry guys. Yeah, back. Mm. So yeah, so if I'm explaining the if loop again, the if loop will generally be means you go into the if loop only if the create contact checkbox equal to true. Okay, if that is true, you're going to create a new contact and assign the values what have you done the same thing in the previous US trigger also. Okay, and I'm mapping this contact to the same account ID. And finally, there is a new step. That is, I'm adding the contact, the created contact con, to the list of contacts. Lcons is the list of contacts. Dot add con. I'm not inserting. I'm simply adding it to the list of contacts. Okay, and I'm coming out of the for loop. Yeah, it means if there are 90 records, and 90 times you're going to recurse the for loop, and if the created contact equal to true for 60 records, 60 times it's going to go through the if loop. Okay. Finally, as I said, there are 60 records. In 60 records, we checked create contact equal to true. The 60 records will be coming into the list of contacts, list cons. Okay. The list cons I'm inserting at a single step at the 20th line. Okay. Now we are only using one DML statement here, that is insert list, not 60 DML statements. But if I'm giving insert con inside the for loop, what happens? My inside the if loop, 60 times I have to hit that insert contact. 60 times means there are 60 DML statements. Because as Salesforce have owner limits on Apex, we have to be more careful on this. Okay, so you have to make sure that you are only calling just DML statements. So now this trigger is called bulkified. Means you are using the bulk operation at once, inserting the records at once with a bulk operation. Okay, unlike in the previous scenario where you are trying to insert one by one. Not one by one also, but it's only inserting first one record. Okay, got it. So same way, see, this is after insert trigger. I can do before insert also. What is before insert? Before inserting the record only, you are trying to create some other record. Some other, you want to do some modifications, or you want to do some updates to the system, or you want to note an email. That type of things you can do it. So after insert, before insert, sorry, I will come into the same order. Before insert, after insert, before update, after update, before delete, okay, after delete, and there is undelete also before, after undelete. Okay, all these options are there. You can use that as a events. Okay. If I want to run the same code on two events, yes, I can do that. Inside the brackets after account, I can put after account, comma, after update. I can do that. That's not a problem. So whenever a contact is getting updated, also whenever account is getting updated, again the record will be created on contact object. Okay. So are you good at triggers now? So you know what is trigger and why we use them. And let's go back to the bulk batch Apex. Okay. So this concept is useful to modify millions of records to do some batch operation on the system. So I'm going into the classes. Okay, let's first of all, I'm going to the developer console. The batch Apex class. This is the batch Apex class. So this batch Apex class, this is a global class where you are implementing. Okay, where you are implementable system interface. Okay, and even schedulable also. Means this class is implementing both the interfaces. One is batchable and schedulable. Batchable is generally do the operation. So schedulable interface when you are implementing means you are trying to schedule the class. Morning 5 a.m. you want to schedule this class, and the batch class will do the operations at that point of time. Okay, these things are correlated. Okay, these two things are correlated, and so I'm implementing both these things. And schedulable class is defined here. This is the schedulable code. Okay, global void execute. So in the schedulable class, you can do one thing also. You can create the separate schedulable class inside schedulable class, you can only use one method, that is execute method. The schedulable batch, the main method, you have to use this execute method inside there to execute the batch. And the batch size, you have to define it on what on the object what you were creating the batch class. See, batch class obj equal to new batch class, database.executable batch object comma 100. This is the batch size you can operate on. Okay, so this is the schedulable Apex code. You can also do one thing in the batch class. You define. So coming down to the batch class, I'm not going to differentiate here now. I will do it after a minute. Coming down to the batch class, it has start, execute, okay, and even finally there is a method called finish. These three methods are available inside the batch class, okay. But execute method, which is defined here, belongs to the schedulable class. That is the reason it's using schedulable context. Yes, see. Okay, I can do one thing. This example is means I am using both the things in the same example. But actually, what happens is I'll create a batch class implementing the database.batchable. In that, I generally create start, execute, and finish methods. And later on, I'm going to create separate schedulable class, which is having only this method, which is linked with this batch class. But currently, what I'm doing is I'm doing both the things in the same class. So don't worry about that. This is also one way of doing it. Okay, and actually, what happens when you are calling this class, batchable class, it generally the main batch class, first method in the batch class is start method. So global database.queryLocator start is the definition of the start class, and database dot, this is the written variable. What you are written here, you are going to mention here, right? Database.queryLocator. That's what you are going to written here on this database dot get query locator. This is what I am returning it, and I am passing some string, that is SOQL query. The string will automatically returns the account object with ID, name, and account number. Okay, so the values what you are trying to return, the same data I have to configure here, database.queryLocator. On this start method, okay, inside that I'm using database.batchable context. I'm using this batchable context BC. So the same BC I'm going to forward this, and I'm going to use this in the execute method also. See the same thing, because I'm going to pass this as an attribute to this method, start method, as even to the execute method also. The main intent of start method is, for suppose if you want to perform the bulk update operation on all the accounts which are belong to USA. So what I will do in this query, I will put select ID, name, account number from account where country equal to USA. Means I'm getting all the accounts. It may be millions of records also. Okay, million records. Okay, you're getting all the million records into the system, and I'm returning this to the execute method. Okay, the execute method will take the data in the list account LST. All that list will be coming into this LST. This list I'm going to use here to do the operation for account A LST. So this for loop will be going to parse 1 million times. Means I'm expecting 1 million records from here. 1 million times it's going to be executed, and 1 million times I'm going to assign the account name equal to a name plus ERM plus all this stuff. Okay, coming down to my system, I'll show what happened when I schedule this stuff. Okay, coming down to my customers are automatically updated and updated with ERM at the end of the customer. So I have scheduled this every week, it seems, every month it seems. After 3 months, you have seen this type of message. This is the actual customer name plus ERM plus ERM plus ERM plus ERM plus ERM. 6 times it have executed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. My code is working fine. Okay, that's what I'm doing in the batch class. I don't have special requirements. That's what I'm doing in the batch class. That's what C. A dot name equal to a name dot ARM. Phone number A dot phone equal to 125345. B dot account number equal to 1234567. Come back to the customer record that is opened by something. See the phone number, you can see these are all the things which are modified by my batch. See, I can automatically update all the data which I'm in the data set which I'm trying to update. See, the phone number which I've set there manually inside the batch class execute method, it's here. The appending of ERM after the account name, the account name plus ERM. The existing name plus ERM means after first batch class it becomes here. After second batch class it automatically happens one more ERM. Third time, fourth time, fifth time, sixth time. Okay, and I even updated some more information, that is account number also we can even check. See, account number is 1234567. It's for all the records in the system. Why I am not seeing this operation on someone's record? Because someone's record is just created today morning and just now, and that reason it's not going into the batch. When my batch is scheduled, I can show that when my batch is scheduled to you, how to schedule it also in today's class. Okay, this is the operation what you're going to do inside the execute method. Okay, you can pick any example. You can do, you can even update the zip code of all the accounts in your system. For suppose sometimes a few countries have changed the zip codes or phone number extensions also. Okay, very suddenly after in some it happens very few times, but sometimes it happens. In that case, I can do the very quick update with this batch class, and after that, I'm going to call database dot update LST. The list what I am querying on the top, the 1 million records, all the records I am going to update with this line, 34 line. By this, because I'm not returning any value here. There's no return statement. That's the reason I'm using void here. By this, my execute method is done. Finally, there is a finish method. Generally, finish method I'm not going to use specially, but some people, if they have special requirement, I can do that. Finish method is useful to clean up the data. For suppose you have done millions of record changes, but finally you have to do some quick cleanup. That operations you can do, the logic you can do it inside the finish method. So now you know the batch class is useful to modify bulk records on your Salesforce system, and it has 3 methods, and this uses batchable context, and it implements database.batchable. Okay, and it generally uses database.batchable context, which is used as a parameter in this method start and execute and finally methods. And start method is useful to query the records on the data set what you want to perform data, means I said you. And coming out the execute method, you are going to run the operation on the data what you have queried in the start method. Finally method is useful to clean up the data after doing the operation or evaluating the data after doing the operation. These 3 methods are available. Coming down to the schedulable method, this is for executing this batch class. See, what is batch class? Batch class is a batch class, that is right. This is a schedulable code to execute this batch class. To execute this batch class. Again, the batch size is 100. Okay, now each and every fraction, it's going to execute 100 records in one batch. It's going to update 100 records in one batch. That's the number what we're defining here. You got the requirement, and I want to show you how to schedule this batch classes. I have less time. I have 5 minutes time. I'm clicking on FX classes. Okay. There is a schedule option here. You don't see that option anywhere else. By clicking on develop, you can go to Apex classes. This is the option where you can see Apex classes also. Here there is a last option. There is a schedule Apex. If you click on that option, you have an option to schedule a class which is schedulable, which is having schedulable interface. I'm clicking on this. Okay. I'm selecting the batch class. Why I'm seeing batch class? Generally, you cannot see the batch class here because the batch class is not having schedulable interface. But currently in the batch class which I am currently using, I do have schedulable interface also, which is I'm implementing schedulable interface also in the same class. That is the reason I'm able to see this. But unlike other schedulable things, we don't have batch methods, but this batch class is having both batch methods and schedulable method also. Okay, I already did this, but I am doing it again, but I don't want to save that. I will put some batch in saying, hey, account update batch, and I will put my some identification number 123. Okay, and on what time I have to execute this, and I have to schedule this, right, weekly or monthly. If I freeze weekly, on what day? Thursday every week. And what is started and end date? The started and end date is starts on 1st of 29th and ends on 28th Jan. Okay, and so if I want to execute this batch for the next 5 years, yes, I can do that. Click on this. So this operation will be going on for next 5 years. Okay. Okay. And prefer start date. Prefer start time. On when you want to start this. Generally, if you are using, if you are in US time zones, the US time I want to execute this thing in the midnight. It will be, so if your company is in US, I want to run the batch classes on US time, morning, midnight, 3 a.m. for US records. For Indian records, I can execute the same similar batch for Indian records on Indian time 3 a.m., which is afternoon for US. Okay, it depends on your customer. I can put down 4 a.m. This generally takes the US time PST time. It's taking 4 a.m. PST. Or else I can even give 1 a.m. PST means 4 a.m. EST, 3 a.m. Central Time, 1 a.m. Pacific Time. Okay. If I click on save, this batch is scheduled. Okay. I don't want to click on save because there is already a batch running here. I'll show that to you. Click on cancel. And I'm going back to give me a second, here monitor. See, there is a monitor option. I will click on expand jobs, schedulable jobs. There are this type of jobs in the system. I'm clicking on schedule jobs. Now, if I click on this, I can see the scheduled jobs currently active in the system. I can delete that. I can even manage that. Manage that means modify the time, modify the end date, all this stuff. Deletion means I can directly remove that also. Okay. This is the data export job. This is a different job, not the schedulable job. You don't have option to manage, but coming down to my thing, the account update. Okay, I want to manage this. Click on manage. I can see the option to you. What class will this be? This will include the batch class. The class which I am talking about in today's class is the same class. The job name is account update, weekly, Thursday, and it's running on this time. Starts on this and end date is this, and this. No problem with the end date. Okay, I'm not sure. Oh, yeah, 7th date. Okay. So it's I think end date is actually it's done. I'm giving it as 8. Means now every week it executes. I think I gave only 1 week from 7th month to 8th month. That did 4 times. I think there are 6 weeks inside that. And preferred start date is this, because I have multiple classes. One for one class I have given this, for one class I have given another thing. You will click on cancel. If I click on manage, I do have an option to I don't have option to save it, but I can delete this. Okay, I can see the things when this class is scheduled on every time, all this stuff. But when I'm clicking on modifying, I can't click on save. Means I cannot modify this, but I can remove the current batch that is scheduled, and I can reschedule the same batch class with some other time and some other zone. Okay, got it. So these are the scheduled jobs in the system which are currently active. Okay, and you can also see the when the last time it's submitted, It's submitted on 7th. This is also submitted on 7th month, and but this is started on last scheduled run. Also, you can see it. Next time, what is the scheduled run? Next scheduled run also you can see that information here. Okay. So I think currently this is not currently active. There is no next scheduled run for this because the time is over for this. But this is currently active and it's going to run on next 1 a.m. I don't know what's the time. See, Monday every week starts on 5/1, ends on this. Means it works. Okay. Sorry. Yeah, it started on Jan 5th. It's going to end somewhere. So I think the names what is changing is this. 6 times it have changed it till now. Yeah, I'm clicking on the prefer time also here. You know how to now you know how to schedule jobs from by clicking on Apex classes in the develop. You can schedule the class. You can configure the time. But again, if you want to monitor them, if you want to see them, yes, you can come to the jobs in the monitor and you can check schedule jobs. You can see the jobs which are currently active in the system. Okay. Yeah, that's it, guys. Actually, I have another call starting at 8 o'clock. I'm going to post some more videos to you, and I will email you directly. And I'm trying to do the quick update on the resume, and I will send it to you as soon as possible. Because I don't want to send the same template to all. I want to send different templates so that you guys can do very quick update. Okay. Yeah, that's it, guys. I'll meet you.